What's up, everybody? It's Jaryn from Berkshire Bike and Board. It's group ride season. People are showing up on cool stuff, and this is a Pinarello that showed up the other day that I had to make a video about. I always have this question in my brain, which is why do Pinarellos look like Lamborghinis? In this video, we're gonna answer it. So, first off is this. Why do I think this bicycle looks like a Lamborghini? Well, all Italian design to me, it has these like sharp edges, these angles, these certain lines that kind of make things look like they're going fast, even when they're standing still. Whether it's a shoe, a building, a Lamborghini, a Ferrari, or a Pinarello, they all share some design qualities that I think are very like Italian in nature. And I had to do a little research to kind of figure out what that was, and specifically why this Pinarello looks like a Lamborghini. So we're gonna go back in history a little bit here. First off, let's talk about this specific bike. This is a Pinarello Dogma F, and it's actually a limited edition. It's the Zwift edition bike. I scoured high and low on the internet to figure out exactly where this partnership or collaboration came from. I don't have a perfect answer. What I do know is this. Pinarello and Zwift have collaborated on a lot of bikes in the past, specifically for like the Zwift store. This was the first one where they custom painted and made a bike in real life. Now, I believe it was a bike that maybe went to some early investors in Zwift or people connected to that world, but I cannot say that is factual information. It's just a hunch. If you know, let us know in the comments. Now, beyond that, Pinarello, the brand, and why this bike looks like a Lamborghini, let's go back in time a little bit. We're gonna go back to 1922 when Giovanni Pinarello was born next to Treviso, I believe it was, in Italy. Now, Giovanni was born into a family with like 12 or 13 brothers and sisters. A strapping young lad as he was, he fell in love with amateur bike riding and amateur bike racing at a very early age. It was quite good, actually, and I believe in 1947, I think it was, he turned professional. Now, he had we'll call it a decent professional career, no major highlights except for one, which is that he won the Magaera Jersey in the Giro d'Italia, I believe it was in 1952. Now, what is the Magaera Jersey? Well, it's interesting because in bike racing, jerseys are kind of iconic. And you know, the one that comes to mind for everyone is like the Maillot Jaune, right? That's the yellow jersey in the Tour de France. Or the Maglia Rosa, right? That's the pink jersey in the Giro d'Italia. Well, the Magaera is a black jersey, and it's literally a black jersey. And what it comes from is back in the early 1900s, I think it was like 1937 or 40 something, I don't have the exact number on that, there was a professional soccer player. Now, he played for a club team in Europe, in Italy, and their jerseys were black. And he wanted to take a stab at a bike race, so he decided, you know what, I'm just gonna wear my soccer kit, I'm gonna sign up for the Giro as an independent, and I'm gonna go out and race the bike race. He was a tricky guy, and he realized that in Italy, Europe in general, where they prioritize like rest and quality of life and good food and leisure, he decided, you know what, I'm not gonna race the race as fast as I can, I'm gonna race the race as slow as I can. And in doing so, he basically managed to race every single stage and finish right before the time cut. And the Italian public went crazy for it. They loved it. And they dubbed this the Magaera after this famous soccer or football player. And it carried on in history throughout the years. Professional cyclists back in the day used to get paid for two things, being the fastest and the slowest. And to be the slowest, you had to be kind of crafty. If you just basically stopped riding and they wouldn't count it, you had to do it in a sneaky fashion. Let's circle back now to Giovanni Pinarello. Giovanni Pinarello, towards the tail end of his career, knew that he needed some money because he wanted to start a bike racing company. But he also knew that he wasn't the fastest bike racer, so he said, you know what? I'm gonna go for that Magaera, or the black jersey. And he did it in absolute spectacular fashion. One day he would fall off the back of the race or slip off the back of the peloton, find himself in a hayfield, hiding in a hay bale, and would just, you know, lo and behold, come tromping across the finish line on his bike 2 minutes before the time cut. The next day he would hide out in a local pub or an osteria, having a pint or a bowl of spaghetti, again, come right across the line right before the time cut. And the Italian public just went crazy for this. They loved it. And this was 1951 when he won the Magaera, and he thought for sure he was gonna come back and race for the professional team the following year. And what did they do? This professional team wanted speed. They hired a young stud to take his place, and he was let go from the team in 1951. Now, for whatever reason, they gave him a massive sum of money for this, which was $100,000, which is equivalent to about $500,000 in today's US dollars. So Giovanni Pinarello is sitting there pissed off with $500,000 in his pocket and said, you know what, screw you guys, I'm gonna start my own bike racing team. So he starts Pinarello, his namesake. And things get off to a great start. He's building some amazing bicycles. The locals in his community are in love with the bicycles, but it starts really kind of slowly. 60s into the 70s, they start to create a racing team, some partnerships are formed, but it's still kind of just another bicycle company making steel lugged frame bicycles. Pinarello I'm talking about now. But enter in the late 80s and into the 90s, a character by the name of Miguel Indurain comes along. And if you don't know him, he's a 5-time Tour de France winner, he's a 1-time hour record holder, as well as many other accolades. So Miguel Indurain starts riding for Pinarello, and they know that they want to put him in for the hour record, but they know they need something better than just what's available currently for Pinarello, which at that time were still steel lug frame bikes. So they reach out to Lamborghini and they say, hey, we need a guy that can help us with some aerodynamics and some different frame styles to build an amazing bike for Miguel Indurain to go after the hour record, which the whole world will know. So here comes Marco Giacchi, I believe is his name, and they steal him from Lamborghini's F1 team, and he designs one of the most famous bikes ever built, which is called the Pinella Espada, which is named after the Lamborghini Espada. You see what I'm going there. And it becomes this iconic bike. He wins the hour record, or sets the hour record on the bicycle. He wins his 5th Tour de France on that bicycle, largely in part to winning the time trial that year. And the bike absolutely goes down in history. And from there, carbon fiber and more aerodynamic tubing become popular in the world of cycling. Pinarello pioneers that, and that is why Pinarellos look like Lamborghinis.